Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be coaching a rank 8 Wraith on the PS4, and in the email he says that he doesn't like Hillbilly and doesn't feel like the Huntress or the Nurse are actually worth learning, so he's going to stick to his Wraith, who he was upset that he couldn't get Ruin on. Little did he know that Ruin would have been removed from him anyway. Right, so we're going to have a look at this guy and see what he does. So, the first thing I saw at the start of the match is that you were AFK for like 3 seconds. On this map, you can't afford to do that. This map is the most survivor-sided map in the game. Trapping the guy in the corner was obviously a very good decision. It's a free hit there. And, you know, it set you up for a good chase. Your perks, however, are quite interesting. Now, Bamboozle is not the most questionable perk in the world. It has its use, although most people don't like it. Most of those people are the people that claim they're really good, but they're actually really bad at the game. It has its use. It's not the best perk in the world, but it does have its use. Nurse's Calling is it's always has been a popular perk. And then we've got Bloodhound, which I wouldn't recommend at all. And definitely not Overcharge. Overcharge is not a perk. At all. Right, but aside from the perks, let's have a cheeky look at what you're actually doing in the match. So far, we're just defending the hook. We see that there's people right next to it, so we're going to defend it. That's good. That's not camping. That is just using, you know, being a living organism. Survivors need to realize that if someone exists and they see you next to the hook, they're going to hit you for being next to that hook. So that's a good play. We hear them at the gen again, so we go after the Claudie. This is good prioritization, just making sure we go for the person that's pressuring gens. Because once again, gens are a very important factor in Dead by Daylight. I like that cheeky little stain hiding. Unfortunately, she drops it anyway, just to be safe. Alright, we're going to use our invis to catch up to her. Nice, nice. Now, if she knows what she's doing, she'll go for the window. Oh, we get the dedicated hit anyway, nice. Now, we're lucky that she actually even went to the God Pallet straight away, because normally they would go straight for the window. And then we would have actually had a decent time because of Bamboozle, but either way, getting rid of that God Pallet and downing her at the same time is really lucky. So, we'll take that. It's not really anything you can or can't do about it, you just hope that the servers treat you well. Alright, so we're just going to scout around and look for gens now. Now, I would say if you do have them, I would 100% recommend on Wraith double Windstorm, just because it lets you scout around the map really fast. And I feel like out of every add-on in the game, the double Windstorm add-ons really give you the most value, because you get immense map pressure, and it kind of helps with the slowdown when you uncloak. And it just means you can cloak, catch up to someone, and uncloak again, and just every chase is really fast. That being said, we're going to carry on and go for this Nia. So far, so good. They really like to run across the open middle parts of the map. Like, they don't really play there. Jesus Christ, what is she doing? Right. So these are really, really bad survivors. Or at least that one girl's really, really bad. I was thinking, right, if she has a brain, she's going to camp the window. So you bamboozle the window and then see where she goes from there, whether it be towards a pallet or runs away. She just runs away without thinking, and you knew that, so I guess you're more used to this sort of play than I am. I don't know if it's a platform thing or a rank thing, but yeah, I would have assumed that she would have camped the window, because that's what most survivors that want to live would have done. Alright, so uncloaking, and I noticed that you actually like point in the opposite way when you're uncloaking, so that, you know, they get confused. You always look the opposite way to where you're going to go. That's a really good habit to get into, and it's like a mini mind game. People think you're going to go left, so they end up walking right, but you were going to go right all along, so they walk into you. I've noticed you get stuck a decent amount already as well, so although you like hiding your red stain by looking around all fancily, you also do need to look at where you're going, because you do get stuck an awful lot. And we're cloaking and uncloaking way too much here. You do have the add-ons to break pallets faster when you're cloaked, but we don't want to be going in and out of uncloaking every time we've lost line of sight. Right, we're lucky he got stuck on the stairs once again. So far none of the survivors are properly playing this main building. We had someone mess up the god pallet, and this guy didn't even make it into the building. Right, okay. We don't want to pick him up. We do not want to... He breaks off. We waited way too long. Dropping them fills the bar up by a decent amount, and obviously we're already carrying him by quite a lot. I would have honestly ignored the ash and just hooked the guy. I wouldn't slug with this build at all. Also, our lunges are really weird. I think you need to hold your left analog stick, your movement stick. You need to hold that straight up when you lunge. Because a lot of the time you end up lunging sideways and, wobble left and right, and it doesn't give you maximum distance. When lunging, always just hold straight forward and use your right stick or your mouse to guide your movement. When you're walking normally, sure, walk left and right, but when you're lunging, always just walk forward and let the aiming guide your movement. Good bamboozle. Right, a little cheeky tip here for when you're gonna vault a window like this. So we see him going left. So what we do, and you have been doing this at some parts of the map, so I know you're familiar with this, but since we know he's going left, we look left as if we're gonna go that way, whilst still walking to this window, and then once we're touching the wall, we quickly spin back around and vault over. That means he's thought we're going there when we're actually going here. Which means instead of getting all this distance, he'll actually stay here because he's like, oh shit, I don't want to go there anymore. So that's just like a little optimization you can have for your chasers. Got the lovely bamboozle. I think it's underrated, to be honest. Like, in no world is it the best perk ever, but it's got some good uses. And bamboozle actually makes this map, like, pretty playable. It's killer. So, I don't know. I might start running it just for this map, Right, I think the main thing so far is that your build is not good. You've got 2 perks, and one of which is bamboozle, which only helps at certain situations, and none of them seem to be proccing Nurse's Calling. Now, I'm judging by the fact that some of them aren't even tier 3. Most of them aren't even tier 3. I'm guessing you're not choosing these perks because you think they're good, you're choosing them because they're all you've got. Alright, and at this point I think he's just going for the... Have you left him, or...? So you've hit the obsession and then left him, okay. Now he was just unhooked, so I guess you're being nice. We're going in lockers. Right, let's look at this tracking again. So, we see that the blood was over here. So once again, we see the blood. It's going all the way over here. And it stops about here. So, you use your, your instinct to go right. He's obviously this way. And we go this way, and he's not here. So you think he's in the locker, and you immediately search the locker. But what we should have done is just looked down at the floor right above the locker. Especially with Bloodhound. If there's blood in front of it, just like piling up in front, then yeah, he's definitely in there. But if we see there's nothing in this particular area, then we can actually find out that he's actually stood in this corner or something along the lines of that. It just saves us a few seconds instead of opening the locker. Just a little optimization there. We don't look back. Once again, he's probably hugging that wall, so we should have looked back at the wall that he was likely hugging. Right, here, at this point, we're just going to patrol gens. There's 3 gens left. We're not at those gens. We just cloak and we go straight to a gen, and we just fight. We just chase whoever we can off the gen. We don't care about that jungle gym anymore. You cloak so much normally, but in this situation where we desperately needed to cloak, it just wasn't there. That's probably costed us at least a quarter of a gen, if not half of one. This guy's ran off for miles towards the other gens, which is good. If we keep pressuring him, we might hear other gens as well, so we can pressure loads of things at once. And exactly that's what happened. Claudie's given us God Palette for free. Go on. That's a lunge right there. Oh, balanced landing. There needs to be a way of telling, because there's no way of telling for like 3 seconds until balanced landings are gone. Well, it's not 3 seconds, it's like 1.5 seconds. That's when you know that it's actually there. Right, so now, gens. What makes you lose gens? Why are we not at gen? We need to make sure there is no gens that are being done. Go gen. Go gen. There we go. Alright, go to a different gen. We know no one's here. We haven't properly checked in the one on the right. Gens, please, gens. There's 4 of them. There's 4 of them. There's 4 survivors. There's 4 survivors. We need to go to a gen. We need to go to a gen. Please. Alright. Same jungle gym again. At least there's no pallet here. They're doing gens. They're doing gens. He's gonna vault that window. Bamboozle it. Ah, and Lithe as well, good. Bro. Alright, we'll see what happens here. I think it's just doomed at this point. I think we just have to choose one and camp him. Right. Okay, so if you're using Bloodhound because you don't have faith in your tracking, then from what I've seen, I would definitely suggest Predator instead of Bloodhound, because I think scratch marks seem to be our biggest problem. There's a lot of situations in which the blood isn't even visible, like grass or whatever, from a certain angle, so... I wouldn't suggest either of those perks. I would suggest just practicing more, but I guess Predator over Bloodhound. Overcharge needs to go. Whether it be Corrupt Intervention, Thrilling Tremors, Pop Goes a Weasel, anything. Just anything that isn't Overcharge. Yeah, it's just, Overcharge just isn't a perk. And it's also another reason I don't like Pop Goes a Weasel, because you have to waste a lot of time kicking a gen, and it's just... There's lots of situations where you don't end up actually wanting to kick a gen. Right, so we've chosen this Quentin, and we're just gonna make sure he dies. Fair play. Could have lunged mine out. Right, your lunges aren't swift. You like wiggle when you lunge, which shortens the distance. When you lunge, just straight line. And if you want to turn left or right, then use your analog stick, your aiming one, or your mouse. Use that to guide your movement. Because when you move left and right with your movement stick, then you go like that and it shortens the range of it. Just keep it swift. Because there's a lot of lunges that we've missed which were perfectly within range. We're basically playing on handicapped mode because we have half a lunge. Nice. And they've been reset, so we're going to go back. No, we're just going to claim our kill. Okay. Right, so let's talk shortening chases, because a 12-minute match is actually really, it's like a deluxe match for killers, especially on this map. So 12-minute match, we have Bamboozle, which actually made this map playable, so we can't actually blame it on this map. But aside from that, Nurse's Calling didn't come in use once, Overcharge didn't explode a gen once, and even with Bloodhound, we couldn't really track a lot of people. So really, we've been playing this match with one perk, which is never ideal. Ideally, I would say save the best for last, just to shorten chases significantly, because you can hit them, wipe the blood off your blade, and catch up to them again really quickly, especially with Double Windstorm. Save the best for last and Double Windstorm is ridiculously good on Wraith. It actually brings his viability up a lot. Spirit Fury Enduring should probably be the other 2 perks. If we have saved the best for last, then we would have already guaranteed a pickup there as well. Now, I understand you probably don't have these perks, but in future, I'll definitely go for those perks. Oh.
You all know why I got brutal? Because the game knows I was playing. God, fuck, I don't have ruin. No. Can't play well, by the way. Didn't get ruin on your card. Not the best add-ons, but like, that should have made a fucking difference.
Alright. I get your thought process there. We don't have Ruin, so gens are really fast. This was recorded before Ruin was deleted from the game. So, he's saying add-ons aren't the best add-ons. Definitely. I get your point where add-ons shouldn't make the biggest difference. Add-ons are supposed to be little supplements just to make things feel nicer or to hone your skill in a certain direction. But behavior made this game. So instead of being tiny little changes, add-ons are the killer. In almost every killer in the game, add-ons actually are the killer. And the killer is just a means to using the add-ons. Especially on Wraith, considering he's one of the worst killers in the game. We want top tier add-ons on him to stand a chance. Especially with a perk build like this, we need add-ons at the very least to give us a chance. I say double windstorm, because the second you cloak, your movement speed is ridiculous. It's like hillbilly speed, if not better. There's no reason not to use it. You get so much map pressure, you get so much chase pressure, and if you combine that, I've saved the best for last instead of, you know, either of, well, any of these 3 perks, then your chases are going to be really fast. Then I'd recommend Spirit Fury and Enduring to fill up the other 2 slots, and I guess keep Bamboozle because it makes Crotus Pren playable. If you're getting rid of Bamboozle, then maybe try a gem perk like Pulp Goes a Weasel or Thrilling Tremors or Surge, anything, if you can get them. Really though, I think the biggest thing in this map, apart from at the end where you just didn't go to gens when we needed to go to gens, I think what has really been messing us up for the entirety of the match is our lunges. We lost out on like a good 50% of our potential hits just by wobbling when we lunge. I'm not sure what's going on. I feel like when you lunge, you like, you know, you grip the controller tightly, you're like, yeah, give me the lunge. And I guess that's what makes you, you know, spasm out a bit. I don't know, but left analog stick, keep that straight upwards. Right analog stick, aim with your right one. Other than that, I want to see what happens if you get decent perks and a decent map. Because if we didn't have Bamboozle, my advice for you would have literally been to quit the match. If you don't have Bamboozle and you load on this map, quit the game. 100%. Even if it's like below mid-tier survivors, just quit the game. But anyway, I hope this video has been entertaining, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to subscribe and leave a like. And hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye for now.